But what is going on, guys? Justin from H2O Plants here. Well, what's up, DIY Aqua Pros Rain Wave? What's going on, guys? Got the streams up and going here, so looking good, nice. I actually, because I only have 2 tanks now set up, doing water changes. I'm not really even doing water changes on the tanks I do have, so yeah, there's not going to be any water changes for me, but this is your video to remind you to do some water changes. What's up, Vicky? How's it going? Let me just make sure that I stay in focus here on YouTube. When's the big move? So the big move is hopefully, if everything goes well, going to be next Friday. That's when we're closing. That's when we should be able to move. We'll start moving. But we'll have to see. I'm still waiting on one more piece of paperwork, and it's really holding us up right now. So I have to try and get everything situated with that. What's going on, Wayne? How's it going? What's up, Space Betas? How's it going? What's up, No Rodriguez? How's it going, Floyd? What's up, Jake? I did my water change yesterday. Awesome. I drained 2 tanks yesterday, as you can see. Those 2 are now empty behind me. So, not much, buddy. How are you? I'm doing good, Wayne. I'm doing good. Got 2 tanks emptied, so those are ready to be moved as soon as I get the A-OK and I could start moving them. I had to transfer all the plants into the 55-gallon right here next to me that were left in those 2 tanks. The other 240s, 140 now has 2 lights on it, the one that was missing it. Yay, I noticed you. I did notice you. What's up, Space? Happy March Madness, yeah. It's funny, I'm shutting down shop probably in the worst time to ever shut down a business or take a hiatus. Tax season, March Madness, yeah, so. Amber, what's up? Wondering when my friend's order will be shipped? It was shipped technically today. I made it to the post office a little late, so I'm hoping that it went out with today's mail. I asked them to try and make it on the truck, but it wasn't my normal mail people that were there because it was so late in the day. So I'm hoping that it got on today's thing. If not, it'll be there. Well, it'll be there by Saturday, I think. I'm pretty sure. Monday was pretty good, guys. Pretty good. Who even does water changes? Scrubs. No, tall Anubis plant. I don't have any tall Anubis plants at the moment, but I can order them after we move. So, any plants available? Really, I'm not trying to ship any orders because after today, pretty much Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are all going to be devoted to packing up everything other than the 3 tanks that are set up. So everything on the shelf over here going to be packed up. Everything in the closet that needs to be packed up is going to get packed up. Everything underneath the tanks are going to get packed up, and I'm only going to leave out the essentials that I need. So and I have to still clean out the 2 filters from those 2 tanks because those really can't just sit there. That water's going to get stagnant and nasty, so I need to I wanted to do it tonight, so probably after the live stream I'm going to clean those filters. But yeah, so I don't really have many plants available. If you really wanted something, I have Rakia that I need to get rid of because I have excess of that. I have water lettuce, which I have way too much of. I need to get rid of that. I have some Savinia minima I need to get rid of. And I have some Rotala indica and SP red, or not SP red, SP colorata, which I believe I need to find a home for, and some Rotala Macandra regular. So we'll have to see. Grr, I keep getting knocked off. I'll fix it, Vicky. I got suckered in and I bought a saltwater. I pick it up tomorrow. Nice, Wayne. So how long will you be plantless? Well, as far as selling plants and getting any new plants in, I won't be getting any more plants until after we're settled in the new house. So I'm hoping that that all goes well, and next Friday we can start moving because that's kind of where I'm aiming at. But we'll see. What are the best beginner plants? Anubis, Java Fern, Amazon Swords, Anacris, pretty much anything like that. I also, if you go on my website, there's a whole section there that says beginner plants. It's at the very top now. You can just click on that, and it's everything that I would recommend for beginners. Any more water sprite? No, I'm all out of water sprite. That's all gone. Pretty much any type of water sprite, crypts, Anubis, swords, Vals, I won't have any of until after we move. Packing to move sucks, not to mention having fish tanks. I know how that goes, but we did oh, did it have as we didn't have as many as you. We had 3 when we moved out of our apartment. Well, luckily I really only have to move 3 tanks because those 2 are now empty. So being that those 2 are empty, it's literally just moving them and filling them up, and that'll allow me to move the other 2 tanks that are filled up. My plan is set those 2 tanks up in the house, get them filled. The next day, bring all the plants from these 2 tanks, the way they are now, put them in that tank along with some substrate. That's what I'm hoping for, but we'll see. Hey, is this WCW or just a random stream? This is WCW. Water Change Wednesday. Do your water changes. Let's see here. So I actually, if anybody out there has experience setting up any sort of plumbing or water change, actually, Smith, you're a plumber. Okay, maybe it's working. I don't know what happened here. Let's see. Never got the notice for YouTube, and that what I watch your live feed from 99% of the time. Huh, that's weird. Is Margaret your fiance or girlfriend? Technically girlfriend, but she will be my fiance eventually, soon. Our fish tanks were the first thing in our house. I need moss carpet plant. Warren, really depends on the kind of tank you have, but I'll have moss and carpeting plants after we move. Let me catch up on YouTube here. Let's see. I have to go clean my grandmother's pool tomorrow and get all the leaves out. The water is dark green and 13 feet deep in the area with leaves. That sucks. Special on water lettuce? No special on water lettuce because I'm really not trying to send out any plants right now, but if you really want it, I'll help you out. I hate you and your dope as hell water. A sad day for me. My Anubis leaves are turning brown and seem to be melting. I prune one leaf, then the next one dies. It is disheartening to lose such nice plants. That sucks. When did you get it? Has it been growing a lot? Do you like dwarf hairgrass or Monte Carlo for carpeting? Both are pretty good. Personally, I just got Monte Carlo in, but I really like it, so I'm waiting to see how that fills in. What's up, Joseph? Chelsea says, can't wait for you to get settled so I can get plans for the new 33-gallon long I'm planning on getting. Nice. Yeah, hopefully, my goal is to be up and running by April 1st. With that said, I have to figure out how I'm going to do the tanks, because what I'm doing is I'm stacking the tanks on top of one another. So there's going to be the tank here, and then there's going to be another 40-gallon underneath it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them be in a closed-loop system that gets auto water changes. And I'm planning on having anywhere between 6 and 8 setups, depending on how many I can fit in the space. I haven't exactly mapped it out yet. But it's tricky because it's doing stuff that I've never done before, and setting up an auto water change system is going to be a nightmare for me, I have a feeling. H2O plants, what is a good way to get tannins out of the water other than water changes and is free? Water changes. That's really it. You could try carbon, put carbon in your filter, extra carbon, that might do it. You could also, I don't know if polyfill will take out tannins, but it might help. put in a water polisher, and that may take out the tannins as well. You could probably do a water polisher with carbon, and that might work as well. What's up, Jasmine? Check pH of water or polyfill. There is no wood. The tannin is from the soil I put in it to grow plants. Then just water changes pretty much. Put a water polisher too. What's your favorite food as far as fish food? Is that what you mean, Patrick? What's up, True Dogs? What's going on? Or True Dragons, I think, right? Or I don't know. Best way to get rid of Hydra. I've never had Hydra, so I don't know. But let's ask the stream. Guys, what do you think as far as best way to get rid of Hydra? I do water changes on Friday, but I have to work this Friday. Okay, my stream just went nuts. Yeah, sorry, I fixed the stream. Okay, no sound. You broke the YouTube. Mine still sucks. I was just on H2O plants. Is the Anubis Lancelot the tallest? No, the tallest Anubis would probably be Anubis gigantea, which I don't have on the website because I don't have room for it because it's huge. Next one to that would be Anubis hostifolia, which is equally as big. Pretty good. What is a good plant to be with fire-belly toads? I have many amphibians and would like to know. Nicholas, I don't know. I've never kept any amphibians, so we could ask the stream and find out what they would think if anybody out here has kept toads. Why not both fish food and people? S1 not allowed because it's your own. I like the frozen foods. I get I've also made my own frozen food, my own frozen vegetarian blocks of like broccoli, some spinach, I think I put in it, kale, and a couple other things. I made my own little frozen vegetable food that I feed my fish as well. Show us the 55. That's a 55 side view right there. The dog gets more views than the 55. Don't worry, in the new plays I'm going to set it up where I have everything on a portable stand that I could roll around the fish room with me, so it'd be nice. And Patrick, to go back to answering your question about people food, I like tacos. Tacos are good. I have had the Anubis plant for over a year. After a battle with BBA, they started to croak. Yeah, BBA probably drowned it out, but if the rhizome is still nice and green looking, it'll come back. Hey guys, friendly reminder to crank up your CO2. Be careful with cranking up CO2. I just found out that the little black things on the Java phone are plants, or plants starts don't throw any more away. What? I just found out that those black things on the Java fern or plant starts. I don't get your question, Bar. I'm sorry. How much are you gonna sell Sabinia cuculata? I guess is the name of it. And are they easy to take care of? So far, they're easy to take care of. I actually have them growing in the grow tanks down there under just that regular light. So I would think that they're easy. And I don't know the exact price yet. I'm trying to figure that out still. Where do I buy carbon and water polisher? So Keaton, you can make a water polisher through a water pump or a wave maker and a water bottle like this. There's a video, Joey, the king of DIY, he actually has a video. Look up water polisher and you'll see it. And you could buy carbon off Amazon or your local fish store. Just get a bag of carbon or just loose carbon. And you could probably mix the idea of the water polisher with carbon, and that would help extra filter your water. How long does do the root tubs you sell last? Anywhere between 3 and 6 months is typical. I would replace it probably every 5 months or so. What do you use in your filters? Well, in these filters right now, it's the media that came with it, ceramic rings, the cheap stuff that comes with them. In the new tank system that I'm designing, I'm not going to have a filter. The tank is going to be the filter, and the way I'm going to do that is The two tanks are going to be stacked on top of each other. The top one is going to be a grow tank. The bottom one is almost going to be a sump / grow out tank for mosses and floating plants. So it'll have floating plants on top, moss in the middle, and the water is going to overflow from the top tank down to the bottom tank. And it'll go through a micron sock, which will pull out any dead leaves that may have overflowed, which is crucial because right now, when I get plants in, there's a lot of melting and a lot of plants lose some leaves, so I need to get those leaves out. It allows me to not have to do as much maintenance. It's all it would be is me changing out a filter sock. And then that water will flow down into the bottom tank, where the bottom tank will have the heater, so there won't be any heater in the top tank. And then the water should flow through the bottom tank to the submersible pump that I'll have in there. That submersible pump is going to pump the water out through a CO2 reactor, the one that I showed a couple weeks ago on the live stream. Then from there out and back into the top tank. That's my goal. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try. How often would I have to put more in? Yeah, every 5 months I would put more in. Or if you notice your plants getting any sort of yellowing leaves, that's when I would change the root tabs. Sounds like a lot of upkeep. Turn on all the planted tanks. They look cool. Well, those two are empty right now. I had to empty those. Oh, somebody asked a question here. Tommy says, had an Oscar in a 75-gallon tank. He was the only fish in the tank. When I turned on the light last night, he was decapitated. What do you think ever happened? We were devastated. What? He was decapitated? Tommy, I don't know if he's the only fish. Maybe somebody get angry at you in the house? Killed your fish, maybe? I don't know. What did you have for breakfast? What do you want to know what I had for breakfast? I had a donut, actually. Let's see. Does your plant distribution guy only sell in bulk? You could see if he would ship for you while you're setting up the new place. Yeah, pretty much. I don't trust anybody else shipping plants for me without me training them what to do, because I won't sell ship plants. And I would be afraid that somebody would ship something that may not be up to the quality that I would ship out. So just because I feel like, all right, Patrick, if you must know. Let's see. Do you think polyfill removes ferts? Nope, I use it in all my tanks. No, polyfill doesn't remove ferts, Jake. What are you talking about? Will you buy me more CO2 canisters then? Because mine is already running out. Oh, you're talking to Jake. Besides the lights are already off. Justin is a vegetarian. Yeah, I like tacos. You can have vegetarian tacos. It's called black bean tacos. Or quinoa tacos or something else. My brother came in my room today while I was mowing the lawn and dumped all my fish food out. When I came inside, he said it fell over and walked past it like past it. He is 3. Oh. Let's see. They're like plant seeds, you know. They're like plant seeds, you know. The leaves you pick off that look messed up and all the black stuff on it. Their plant start equals seed. I don't. You mean the babies on the Java fern? Is that what you're talking about, Bar? Yo, Justin, buy me RO water. My pH is 6.4 and my DKH is 10, which means the CO2 is cranked as hell. I want to get it down to 2 DKH. Buy an RO unit. I don't think polyfill removes ferts, does it? Because if it does, then I use it, and I'm really messing up my tanks then if I am. Why does everything grow in my tank, but Java fern always goes back black and dies off? Any idea? John, it could be, let's see, it could be either your water chemistry isn't right for it and it's just dying on you, or 2, you're not allowing it to transition and just giving up way too soon. Because Java fern will typically turn black and produce babies off of its leaves, little like leaflets, and then those will turn into new baby plants. 99% of my experience with Java fern, whenever you put it in a new tank, all the old leaves are going to die. It's just going to produce babies. That's in my personal experience. So I don't know if everybody else has that happen to them, but Every time I get a new type of Java fern, all the old leaves die off, new leaves sprout up from them, or new plantlets, and then I just make it from there. There's a lot of talk on a big subject, keeping shrimp with high tech. What's your thoughts? I run high CO2 and see no problem with shrimp doing well or breeding. This has come up many times. I honestly don't know, Wayne, because I'm not a shrimp keeper and I haven't before. Actually, I did have a monos in this tank, but they all died, and I don't know if it's because my rainbows at the time harassed them or what, but they didn't do too well. In the new house, I do want to get cherry shrimp, though, and see what happens with those. Wow, you have empty tanks. Yep, I had to empty 2 of the tanks, Rooks. Let's see. Only fish in the tank, and its head is gone. Sounds like you gotta move, bro. That's some demons at work. Yeah, that's messed up. Let's see. Why are the tanks empty? You moving soon? Yeah, LRB, we're moving very soon. Tofu tacos as well, yes. What is the best way to pack a plant if you want to sell it at an aquatic auction? So if you, Frank, if you actually go to the YouTube, well, you're on the YouTube. If you go through my videos, I show you how I pack plants in a. I get a heat sealing machine, and I heat seal them in a baggie, and that prevents moisture loss. You don't actually have to put any water in there, except if it's a floating plant. Those are a bit trickier. And that's about it. And tomorrow, actually, I'm going to show you how you ship plants in the winter, or at least what I do. And it seems to work pretty good. Rachel O'Leary just released a video and said polyfill remove fertilizer. I have to see about that. I'm going to have to test this theory then. Because I use polyfill in all my tanks. They're in every filter. Every filter has it. Let's see. What's up, Stag? Welcome. I got this tofu taco meat, and it's delicious and not as messy or greasy as regular meat. Yep. There's plenty of nice tofu, seitan alternatives to regular meat if anybody ever wanted to go vegetarian or even just cut back on some red meat. I was actually, the building inspector came here today and to check out the apartment because my landlord reported me and all that good stuff to the building department. Everything's good with that. They said the tanks, they don't see a problem with it, whatever the case is. And we were actually talking about, like, you know, like, because he asked about the guitars that I have hanging up in my hallway, which were my father's, and he passed away because of cancer and all that. And he was like, yeah, you know, I got to go get checked out for the, because he's an older guy. I'm like, yeah, you know, I just started eating right. I eliminated eating meat and all that. And I said, you know, even reducing red meat consumption can greatly reduce your chances of cancer and all that. So it was interesting, but that's a little off topic. Have you ever had any black spots on any of your plants? Actually, yes. My Anubis that I have in the 55 on this piece of driftwood that arches up like this, it's sitting at the very top, and it's super close to the light. So being super close to the light, it grows this really hard to get off black spot algae. And the leaves actually kind of deteriorated. New leaves have popped up, and those leaves have actually adjusted to the new concentration of light, but it's taken a very long time for that to actually happen. So, would you rather eat your plants or your fish? I don't know. Where was the daily dose today? So daily, well, not daily dose, it's daily trim, but daily trim is on every day other than Wednesdays and Sundays because I'm streaming on Wednesdays and Sundays, so there's no video those days. And that also allows Nate to have a night to himself. Can you add Creeping Charlie to your coming soon list? Yes, I can actually order that from my nursery, which as soon as we move, I plan on ordering a bunch more plants that I don't currently have. My Hygrophila polysperma is growing like crazy with roots all along the stems. Can I cut them to make shorter plants? Yep, just keep trimming them. Brian says, hey, I have some brown stuff growing all over my water wisteria. It comes off when I rub it. Any idea what it is or what I can do to get rid of it? Some of my wisteria appears to be dying. I have medium light and use fertilizer. So, Brian, it's odds are either too much light or too much fertilizer. With that said, don't let up on either of those things unless it's a serious problem. If you can still hand remove it, it's going to go away on its own. It's just typical algae that kind of comes up every once in a while and then it disappears. So just give it some time. Polyfill isn't the same as polyfilter. Polyfilter is a chemical filter. Polyfill performs mechanical maintenance. Yeah, that mechanical filtration. That's the same thing that I thought. What were we talking about before? Polyfilter or polyfill? Polyfill is like the batting that you find in a pillow. That doesn't chemically alter the water. It just pulls out particles, and it's not super fine where it's an RO type unit. Like RO unit will pull out all the minerals because it's super tiny, but polyfill isn't as compact. It just pulls out bigger particles in the water. Never happens in my water, i.e. Java Fern never melts. Oh, well, that's good. So then it's just something about my water that melts them all the time. But they come back, so. Does removing the baby plants off the Java Fern make the mother plant grow bigger and produce more leaves that aren't new plants? I don't think so. But I typically leave the babies on the Java Fern until they fall off naturally. Tell Wayne to hit up a Beta World. She runs high tech with shrimp. Okay, so Wayne, a Beta World on Instagram. Check her out. It's _Beta World or Beta_World. Check her out. She's running a high tech tank with shrimp. I actually completely forgot about that. Can you float Java Fern until it gets a better root structure to bury it in the gravel? So you shouldn't actually bury the roots or bury the rhizome, just the roots. And you could float Java Fern, but if you have a rock, just take all of the stuff that I gave you, Floyd, and just tie it to a rock using like fishing line or something. Let's see. Well, if she's right about removing fertilizer, then you've wasted a lot of money. I have. Hit like and share. Yeah, V-Stag, pimp it out. Hit like and share, guys. Appreciate it. What is your landlord's major malfunction? I don't even want to get into it. All I know is if everything goes right, I'm 9 days away from piecing out. So that's it. I try not to eat red meat since our bodies can't really digest it. Yeah. I actually don't eat any red meat. I live off chickens. Yeah, red meat's no good for you in high concentrations. I mean, of course you could eat it, but try and cut down just one serving of red meat a week will save you a lot. Oh, Wayne, it's just like that, but it's A_BETTA_world. If anything, just message me so I remember to message you because I'll forget. Let's see. Blackbeard algae is a devil. That it is. Justin, a guy on the Dirty Tanks comment a question. Don't forget to answer. What? Guy on Dirty Tanks. Oh, okay. On the Facebook you're talking about. Have you ever used potassium vitamin tabs for leaf spot issues? I just dose a whole lot of potassium in dry fertilizer form. My tanks have way more nutrients than they could ever need. Mods needs a mod. How's it going from Scotland? What up, Craig? Where's everybody from? Do I got a lot of U.S. people in here right now? Because I know I have a couple international viewers. Too late, Jake. You've scarred them for life. Oh, you know what's funny though? As I was going through my customer list from the old website because it's actually switching platforms and I had to import all the old customer data. And I have a lot of people out in California, Florida. There's like particular states, like I saw nobody from North Dakota. Like North Dakota just isn't represented in my demographic at all. What was another one? There's a couple of them. I'm just like, man, I got no love there. So, my crypts always melt, but Java is forever. Yeah, crypts melt a lot too. How do you lower KH? Good question. How do you lower KH? I know GH can be buffered with seashells, but that's not KH. I don't know. I'd have to... Oh, RO water or acid. Yeah, that I guess would work too. Is RO water expensive and does it take lots of room? You could get an RO unit fish life to install in your house, and it will make RO water for you depending on your setup. It may be a thing. Also, most fish stores will actually have RO water for sale as well, depending on the size of your tank. Do you rate the homemade CO2 kits? I haven't. I actually have to fit. I broke my CO2 again. I don't know if anybody saw my story on Instagram. I broke my CO2 regulator again. I ordered a new one, and I ordered replacement parts to fix the existing one. So what I did is I actually rigged it. I bypassed the electric solenoid and the speed control and just plugged the adapter directly into the regulator. So now I just have to make sure I have to just make sure that I turn off the CO2 manually before I go to sleep, because yeah. Sorry, doggy. So yeah, so that's how I fix my CO2. Everybody check his site. Check my site for what? Do you ship to Canada? If so, how much and how long will it take to ship? John, I don't, but what you want to look up is Lizzie's Fishies, Lizzys, Fish, or is it Z? I forget. It's Lizzie's Fishies on Instagram, or she has a Facebook page and a website, and she lives in Canada and ships to Canada. I have a DIY CO2 kit. It's not bad. Works well on smaller tanks. Yep. Pretty much. The one that I'm using is a DIY regulator. I didn't build it. Somebody else did. But it's a DIY. It's not any sort of brand. What's up, Jake? Will you ever breed and sell fish and shrimp? Yeah, Jake. Will you ever breed and sell fish and shrimp? Not me. My regulator constantly leaks. Yeah, well, that was the problem. Is I heard a hissing sound, and I went to tighten something. I over-tightened it. It cracked the threads again, and yep. So I ordered additional replacement parts to fix the part that I broke, and I ordered a whole separate regulator just so I don't have to worry about that. So if it ever does break, I have a backup, install it, and worry about fixing the other one. So, does more wattage mean more plant growth? Means the plant grows faster? Not necessarily. It's all about the the right type of radiation that comes in. Let's see here. I have a strange white mushroom looking fungus algae affecting all my plants. Have you encountered this? Looks like tiny white mushrooms. You'd have to send me a pic. I've never seen that. I'm a shrimp. You're a shrimp. How tall can Crinum calamonstranum grow? Pretty damn tall, actually. Patrick, really tall. Oh, you were talking to me, Jason. So Jason wants to know if I'll ever breed shellfish or shrimp. Probably not. The plant business is good, and I don't see myself needing to sell shrimp and fish. It would just be an additional headache where I can invest all that time and energy into growing additional plants and bringing in rare plants that you can't get at most stores. So I think I'd much rather do that. With that said, I do want to get cherry shrimp because I want to test them out, but I don't see myself sitting there and breeding them. It would be learning something that I'm not familiar with. What I'm familiar with is plants. I know plants. I know how to manipulate them to do what I want and all that. Learning the shrimp, just in my eyes, isn't a huge return on investment as far as that goes, and I'd much rather leave it to the people that already invested the time to learn those things. So, do you do fungus? I don't do fungus. Let's see. I have a 200 liter and was considering DIY CO2 kits. Do you think it would be beneficial? Oh, if you're meaning like the citric acid and whatever else, baking soda, that if it's a small tank, yes. 200 liter, I'm pretty sure that's a bigger size tank. I think that's probably like a 40 gallon or 50 gallon. I wouldn't recommend it for that. DIY CO2 kits are really only for like 10 gallons and less, 20 gallons and less, I would say. My family is, so what would be a good light for a 3 gallon? Really anything. I have a typical shop light, just something that you get at Home Depot with a regular bulb in the 3 gallon vase that we have in the kitchen. Grows plants just fine. My family is singing happy birthday to my brother on the phone. I'm hiding watching the stream. So no more water change Wednesdays. So Kevin, what I'm trying to do actually is I'm trying to avoid doing water changes on these tanks. Part of my experimenting process. I want to see how long I can go without water changing them because, one, there's no fish in there, so I don't have to worry about it being overly toxic. And two, by me doing water changes, it's kind of... this is actually the thing that I realized. It's kind of counterproductive to do water changes and have a filter with ceramic tile or ceramic media in it or any sort of biological filtration. Two reasons. When I do a water change, I'm pulling out all the essential nutrients that are in the tank that I've been dosing, right? It's lessening that or diluting it when I add in fresh water or whatever. Two, the ceramic things that are in the filter that have the bacteria growing on it, that is absorbing the nitrates. Where what I want to happen is I want the plants to absorb the nitrates. So I don't know if it's counterproductive. I have to play around with that. So yeah, so that's something that I want to test out. But for me right now, I'm not doing any water changes. But to remind all you, do your water changes. Update, they found me. Well, Jasmine, sing happy birthday. How did you go about getting an aquarium? How did you go about getting an aquarium co-op about the go? I think you mean how did I go about getting a dual or a interview or live stream with him? Is that what you're talking about, Big Joe? Eating ice cone flavored ice cream. Weird. I know that is weird. I'm joining in over the phone. Happy birthday, shenanigans. Cheers for the feedback, much appreciated. You can make banks selling shrimp. Yeah, you could, except I would feel guilty if they died during shipping. So at least if I kill a plant, that's no big deal. I'll ship out another one. If I kill a shrimp, I'll feel upset about it. Counterproductive to add ferts and water change. Yeah, that's the same thing that I'm thinking. If you EI dose, it recommends weekly. But here's the thing. If it recommends weekly, is it recommending weekly because you have fish in the tank? If you have no fish in the tank, why would you do a water change? That's my, like, why would you do it if you're adding nutrients and it's only for plant growth and there's no fish? I don't have to worry about toxicity levels building up. Yeah, you'll get some forms of algae, but I think overall the plants will outcompete the algae. So yeah, especially if you breed high grade shrimp. Yeah, you can definitely get a pretty decent amount of money for shrimp, but I don't think it's for me. I believe me, I was debating when I thought of the name for H2O plants. I was like, am I ever gonna sell livestock? And I was like, nope, not gonna happen. So, give me a heads up when plants go out. I have delivery issues. Don't want them to melt. Thanks. Rain, they already went out. All the plants were shipped out. Every order, if you had an order pending, they got shipped out. Not to mention the dechlorinator battle stripping the water of nutrients. Yeah, that too. How did you go about getting on Aquarium Co-op? Oh, Big Joe. I was actually watching one of his live streams, and he had mentioned that he's up for, doing dual live streams with people, and I was like, well, shit, if you are, I'm going to message you, and I messaged him, and he was mad cool about it. So, I don't know, he's very busy now, so I kind of caught him at a good time. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it, but hit him up. He might do it. Corey's a cool guy. I've been helping him out with Instagram lately because he's been asking for some tips. Rain, also, you should have gotten an email with a shipping or tracking number. Let me know if you didn't get that, because I think you had ordered on my... Did you order on my new system or my old system? I can't remember. Depending on where you ordered, I just want to make sure the new system is working properly. Plants Live Matters. What is wrong with you? I actually want to put that on a shirt. Plants Lives Matter. I have hopefully three different designs in the works right now for t-shirts. So as soon as we move, I gotta locate somebody that can actually print them and everything and make them nice. So it's actually kind of funny with Lizzie's Fishy. She sells more plants than fish. Yeah. That's why I was thinking of the name, like H2O plants. I was gonna do like H2O aquatics, H2O something, and I'm like, H2O plants. I did a Google search to see if anybody had the name. There was only one person that had the name, but it was I mean, it's related, but it's unrelated. It's a aquarium maintenance company in the UK, and I'm like, well, he's not in the United States. I'm only doing United States sales, so it only makes sense to do it. Hey Justin, that Ludwigia I got from you is turning brownish yellow. Oh, that's strange. Does it look like it's dying? Because it could just be the old growth dying. If it has new green leaves, it's fine. Usually the bottoms or the old growth of stem plants will die out eventually. You sent me an invoice. I went from there. No confirmation. Oh, you were on PayPal. That's right. My bad. I'm sorry. I completely screwed up. I'm gonna send you that right now. That's why I hate PayPal, because like the new system's great because now like if you want to custom order the way you did it, Rain, I could literally do it through the website, and you could check out through the website, and that means everything is streamlined now. It's so much easier than the way it was before. Because it's not that I don't like using PayPal. It's just it's a pain for me to remember to go back through and enter in shipping numbers and stuff like that. So let me make sure. You were Allison, right? Allison, I got you right here. I'm gonna update PayPal right now. We got Dustin's fish tanks in the house. What up, Dustin? How's it going? What up? Yo, got 2 of the tanks drained, getting ready to move. I wanted to actually ask you, Dustin, I wanted to hit you up later and pick your brain about a automatic water change system. Because I'm trying to design the new fish room to be completely automated as far as water changes go. Literally just a flick of the switch from a Wi-Fi outlet. How's the move? Well, we got 2 tanks drained, so those will be the first to move. We close on the house on the 10th, assuming everything goes right. I'm waiting on one final piece of paperwork, so I'm hoping that everything goes well with that. And yeah, that should, so if it's the 10th, those 2 tanks will be moved on the 12th because we got to treat asbestos in the basement. The asbestos will be moved out on the 11th. And then the 12th, I move those 2 tanks, and then the following day, I move the rest of them. So I want to get those set up, though, because of all the rare stems that I have in the other tanks. I don't want to lose them. So, yeah. Alright, Allison, you should be getting a notification right now that it was shipped. My bad about that. I apologize. Inline water heater. Yeah, so I was going to do an inline water heater, but my thing is I want to do automatic water change where I'm going to pipe above me a water pipe that goes to all the tanks because I'm building double rack systems. And then, so that water is going to be heated automatically coming in. And then as it goes down to the tanks, I want it to overflow into an overflow that goes to my main drain or to a sump that gets pumped into the main drain. So I got to figure it out, but this is my first time ever doing something like that, so I wanted to pick some people's brains on it to try and make sure I got the ideas right as far as that. Let's see. What's going on? Fancy betas, Destiny. That'll be tight. Yeah, literally what I want to do is I want to be able to control the water changes literally from an app in my phone that controls an outlet to turn it on. So like it'll turn off the way I want to set things up because I'm actually going to do a dual rack system where the top tank grows stem plants and is the holding tank for like anubises and stuff. And then the bottom tank is for floating plants and moss because floating plants and moss sell like crazy for me. But when you have floating plants and you're trying to grow stems, you know, it's just like it defeats the purpose. So that's what I want to do, and it also like alleviate duckweed and stuff because everything will filter down to the bottom tank, so I don't have to worry about duckweed on the top tank and stuff like that. So those are my goals. That's my goal, is to have that, and then the two tanks top and bottom will be its own self-contained system, 240 gallons on top of one another. So if you could get the drain rolling, you're good. That's my biggest issue, is making sure that the water input is equal to or less than the output of it. So ask me about duckweed. Where are you going to do the rest of the plants you have left over? Oh, wait. Where are you going to do with the rest of the plants you have left over? You mean, what am I going to do? So, other than, like, if anybody wants to buy dwarf water lettuce from me because I have so much of it, the rest of the plants are pretty much good for another week or so. I just gave them a heavy trimming and everything like that, so I propagated a bunch of stems. But everything else, I'm just going to wait until we're in the new house. Hey Justin, starting a new tank. I'm waiting to use Carib Sea Superfine Sand as my substrate. How well do plants do in Superfine Sand? They'll do alright. Just make sure you get root tabs. Giant outputs that can't clog, and you're fucked. Yeah, wet floor. Yeah, that's my biggest issue too. But my problem is the way the basement is designed, where I'm putting all the tanks, is to run the drain, I'd have to go through the main walkway. And I don't want to do that, so I'm thinking of pumping it in the opposite direction into a drum and then having a sump push it up and over to the master drain of the house. Thinking of ideas, it's kind of hard to figure out, so I need to like really get in there. But my biggest thing is that whole like pitching of the pipe and making sure the flow is right and just overall figuring out the system. Pretty much, it's just first time building it. It's gonna be tricky. Let's see. Could I use a lamp with an LED bulb? You certainly could for a small tank like that with a 3-gallon. I have a tall tank looking for some shade-specific varieties of rare plants. The Amenia, or Nisei Golden, Amenia Senegalace, or whatever it's called, or Amenia gracilis. Those plants I found typically like shadier spots. I don't understand why. They're bright red or bright yellow and red, and they like shade. How much money do you earn selling plants? Well, Dream Betas, it really depends. I'm putting in the work, so I'm making a decent amount of money. It's not enough to be a millionaire, but it's enough that I could essentially quit my job if I wanted to, which is good. But with that is, you know, added stress, because then, you know, with my job it's a steady income, and selling plants I've only been doing it 6 months really, so I don't know if it's a 12-month type thing. It might only be a seasonal thing. Are you going to have someone go on your channel live interviews, whatever? One day. I don't think I have a big enough audience right now to actually have do an interview of like somebody else on YouTube. We'll see though, maybe in the future. Let's see. What recommendation dosing for Seachem Flourish and Flourish Excel? Would it just be as per dosage off the bottle once every week, and when would be the best time to add it? So best time to add it's going to be after your water change, and yeah, follow the bottle in that. You could of course adjust it depending on your plant load and your lighting and all that. So Dustin, thanks for the Instagram help. See if they can get the drain running down. How? Okay. Yeah, I gotta figure out that whole drain system. Yeah, somehow. I'll work on it. I'll probably send you a picture or something. Get your input on the system. But tank on too, bro. Catch you later. Let's see. You better get working on them shirts. Mike might make a Plant Lives Matter shirt before you. He might. Lamont from Aquarium Co-op does amazing artwork for shirts. I've seen some of his. I'm going for a different style. His are good, but I have a different art style in mind for him. So I reached out to an artist on Instagram that is like really good. There's a couple people that hit me up, so I have a couple people working on some designs, and I reached out to one person specifically that I wanted to design one shirt. So I'm gonna see what they all come up with, and I'll pick the best ones and work out a deal with them. You have to give him a cut of the money from the shirts since I gave you the idea. How about I give you some free plants, Keaton? I like the old system for growing plants more, but I am all for anything you do. I love when red kabama starts to finally turn red, kind of like sunset. Yeah, it looks really nice. Heat the room. I will be heating the room. I'm actually going to have backup heaters inside the tanks, but those will only be for any sort of issue with heating the room. So I'll have them set to like 74, so if it ever drops below like the 78 degrees that I want the temperature of the room to be, I can adjust it. I just looked it up, and one of the last tanks Amano did was 7 meters long. Jeez, that's big. Good night from Scotland. People, some of us have work in the morning, and it's 1 a.m. here. Well, Craig, later. They sell a smart outlet at Home Depot you can plug your pump into, output higher than input, and instantly overflow. Easy peasy. This is true. Yeah, I actually have a Wi-Fi outlet. I actually control the ACs from them, but the way I want to do it is I want it to be one button that I press on my phone. Water changes happen automatically, and that the whole system has fail-safe. So for whatever reason there's an issue with the water flowing in, it cuts the system and it turns it off. If for whatever reason there's an issue with the water flowing out, cuts the system, and it allows me to, you know, fix the issue without getting tons of water on the floor and all that. I also heard a mini is like higher pH. That's very possible. Dustin made a career of it. You can too. Yeah, I definitely could. Without a doubt. I don't have doubts in my abilities. It's just one of those. I have a good job, and I don't want to lose out on all the benefits and everything that I have until I know for sure, after at least a year of selling plants solidly, that that's like, okay, yeah, I can make or match or make more than what I currently make before I make any sort of decision like that. Hey everyone, what's up, Caitlin? Nice. Justin is going for a more kawaii look on his shirts. Home ownership means water bills, rental days are over. I'm fine with that. Water bills ain't that much. It really isn't. I'm thinking of a way to try and recycle the wastewater too, because if I could hold it in a big enough container, you could actually use it for toilet bowls, which, I mean, is great because you recycle water, but I mean, it might be pennies on the dollar that I'm saving. Okay, I would like 3 orders of Rotella indica sent to me. What's up? I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Lix? I'm gonna call you Lix. What's up, Guppy Lover? How's it going? Alright, so we're all cut up in the chat. I'm gonna assume Aminia could be more of a low-tech but high-light plant, since if you added CO2, it'd decrease your pH. It's very possible. It's tricky. I have to experiment with the plants more with that species. When we get all set up, I'm actually going to have like 2 or 3 test tanks that I could test a couple things out on certain plants. In a reef system, I just use a float switch to check water level, and you can use a catch reservoir to collect the old water with another float, which will control how much water you change. Yeah, see, that's... But the problem is I'm going to have, so it's going to be picture 2 40-gallon tanks on top of one another, similar to the way I have here. It's just a second one underneath it. So you have 2 tanks. Then there's going to be rows of those 2 tanks. I'm figuring at least 6 racks set up. And then those 6 racks are going to be on the automatic water change and automatic overflow out. So I'm going to drill 2 overflows, 1 smaller pipe to go down into the bottom tank and 1 bigger pipe to go down into the other tank, as well as an output to do water changes. So basically, when the water flows in, it'll overflow into the bigger drain, and then that'll get pushed out into the wastewater. But it's going to be tricky, so... Food, I don't know what you mean by whatever you said. Speak the English. English. Alright, so we got about 10 more minutes, and I'm going to wrap this up, 10-15 minutes, so just so you guys know. Stag says hit and like and share and stuff. Yeah. Hit that like and share buttons. So why 2 overflows instead of just 1? So Jake, it's a fail-safe. So the first one will be slightly lower than the second one. So that's the regular overflow, and that overflow is going to go into the bottom tank where the water is going to be kind of processed through the floating plants and the moss, and then pump back up to the top tank. And then the second overflow will be a safety mechanism where if for whatever reason that first overflow gets clogged with something and it's not allowing the water to flow, that second overflow will allow the water to flow out. Laura says, and Laura, you had ordered last night. I just shipped out your order this afternoon. So, as far as hardscape materials, so I'll have hardscape materials after we move. That won't be until April. If you can't wait, check out Houston Manzanita on Facebook. He sells rocks and driftwood. Remember the pictures of the broadleaf sedge I sent you? Where could I sell that, and would you buy it? I would possibly buy it if when I move. If not, you could try and take it to your local fish store and be like, hey, I have a whole bunch of broadleaf sedge. Will you buy it? They might give you credit for it. Somehow I didn't get the notification when it started. Gotta get that fixed. What, the stream? The stream? Hit the notification bell if you haven't. Hit the notification bell or follow on Instagram and Facebook, and you usually get a notification when it goes live. Yeah, Laura, your order came in so late last night, and I'm like, shit, I don't feel like packing orders on Sunday, so I'm like, I'll pack it last night. So, are you going to have a giant display tank in the new house? So I don't know if I'm going to have one upstairs. In the basement, what I'm planning on doing, there's 2 or 3 columns that run across the basement that basically separates the areas where I'm going to have all the grow tanks and the walkway to that area. And in those 2 gaps in between the pillars, I want to put 2 fish tanks there. So I was thinking possibly one as discus and one as multis, because I really want to do a shell dweller tank. Like, that's one of the things that I really want to do. So I'll have to see. What's up, Joseph? How's it going? Heard of any good Canadian driftwood hardscape online stores? I haven't, Matt. You might want to ask Lizzie's Fishy. She'll probably know. eBay had a guy with tons of driftwood for peanuts. Yeah. eBay has some, so sometimes you get good sales on eBay, but eBay is like one of those, it's like flash sales. If you miss it, sometimes they don't have a steady supply, so. The show tanks or the display tanks, though, aren't going to come until after all the racks are set up, because setting up the racks is going to be a problem. What I have to do is, first I need to design the one setup so I know everything works well. So basically, I'm going to design one 40-gallon on top of one another, figure out the plumbing, all that, get that situated. Once I know how that all works together, then I'm going to do the additional ones. I'm literally going to wind up going to like 4 or 5 PetSmarts and picking up all the 40-gallon breeders they have and be like, when you get more, call me. I'll come back for them. When they're on sale, of course. I don't have any local fish store. I would sell it cheap because my dad owns a business and he would cover the shipping costs for me. Well, that's good. Well, shipping costs, I mean, it should cost you probably anywhere between like $8 and $10 depending on where you're shipping it to. You could try eBay if you really want to offload them. I'm working on something to make it easier for people to be able to sell plants, but it's not done yet, or it hasn't even really started, but it's in the works. And people on Instagram, it's actually going to go down in 30 seconds. I don't know why it just let me know this now. You can check out the live stream on Facebook and YouTube. I'll be there live streaming for about another 5 to 10 minutes. I'll bring back up the stream on Instagram, though. You could try Facebook groups, too, Keaton, to sell plants. Facebook groups for the fish groups. There's plenty of them. Plant the tanks, all that. Let me start those back up. The staircase type rack system is easy to work with. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, it's going to be one on top of another, so I just got to make sure that I do it the correct way, you know, and that everything flows properly and all that. What's up, Octo Nation? Joining on Instagram. We started it back up. What's going on, Octo Nation? So yeah, it's gonna be tricky to design the rack system. It's just I need to make sure all the flows are correct and everything. Water change Wednesday for the win. Yep. I have a question, my dude. Well, let me know. I sell it cheap if I sell it for $1. $1 is a pretty good deal if you're selling it to people. I personally wouldn't buy it more than for like 25 cents each, but that's because I buy in bulk to begin with. You still thinking about making the pond that feeds the garden when you move? If we decide to set up the garden in the backyard, I will do some sort of aquaponic system where it pumps all the wastewater out there. I don't know if that's gonna work though. Drinking some H2O, you know it. Your tanks are empty. Yep, 2 tanks have been drained. We're getting closer to moving time. The more my plants grow, can I spread out my water changes more? Yes, but do it gradually and not as quickly as you think you would. So I would typically, if you're doing water changes every week, maybe start doing them every 8, 9, 10 days, and then work your way up from there. Time for dinner. See you later. Later. How many portions would you recommend splitting the bulk boost you just had? Wait, how many portions would you recommend splitting the bulk boost you just had? What do you mean, Caleb? Like what you ordered? What is the best way to dose iron? Anything special? Any tips? Nope, just dose it. It'll be good. How do you trim Madagascar lace plant? It's growing wild. Just trim the outermost leaves or the tallest leaves that you want to get rid of. Those are the best ways. If I sold it to you for 15 cents, would you buy it? There's 100 of these plants. I have to check to see what I buy it for. Currently, I think I get it for anywhere between like 10 and 25 cents, maybe. I don't know, because I order so much of it. But I'll have to see. Sorry, that was so confusing. The portions you sold, would you split them any to encourage growth? No. From what I've noticed with the boost, I would just leave it alone. Put it in the tank, remove any melting leaves, right? And as they start to grow, or as they adapt to your tank, remove any leaves that are growing algae, because those are just going to melt anyway. Remove any melting leaves as time progresses, and just leave it. If you watched a video that I posted yesterday on the boost that I had growing in my tank, I'm trying to nick the rhizome with my fingernail to see if it promotes growth, and if it does, then that would be the best way to do it. Short of a par meter, how do I figure out if I have high enough light for dwarf baby tears? That one's tricky. What size tank and what kind of light? I've started an accidental duckweed farm. If anyone needs any, let me know. It wasn't confusing. Justin just doesn't know how to read. Thanks, Jake. Insult my reading level. I smart. Kian, I will go out one day and see how many I could collect and to see if it's worth it. Yeah, Kian. Just wait until I move because I have no room for it now. But I definitely, if you have some, I'd definitely buy some for you or exchange it for plants, whatever you want. Everyone should pick on Jake. Yes, everyone should pick on Jake. 60 gallon, Phoenix 2 48 inch. Phoenix Ray 2. You probably have medium light in the 60 gallon tank. You may not get away with it. What you could do is put it on a ledge and start it higher up in the tank, let it grow, and then slowly lower it and see where it gets to, because I have it growing on one of the metal ledges in my tank right now, literally at the top of the water, but I haven't put it on the substrate yet. best CFL bulb to grow out, or to grow at least low light plants in 36 gallon. Really, anything will work for low light. Just get something that has a good output. Something probably like, I mean, typically Kelvin ratings aren't the way you would judge a light, but anything with like a 75K would probably give you good light in the tanks. Right on, thanks man. Nicking into the rhizome sounds interesting. Keep us updated. I definitely will. Well, Rachel O'Leary had a video that she put up, I think, last week where she talked about nicking the rhizome of a bulbidus plant, and I thought that was rather interesting to promote growth. And if it's kind of true for all rhizome plants, then that would work for Anubis, and it would work for Bucephalandrid. So I want to test it out and see. How often would you add root tabs to a medium planted tank? Anywhere between every 3 and 6 months, or as needed. So if your plants are yellowing up and you just replaced root tabs last week, well, maybe not last week, give it like a month. But if your plants are yellowing and you put in new root tabs a month ago, I would add more. Thanks. I'm in middle school and it's hard for me to make money. My dad gives me a couple dollars every week for everything I do. Oh, well, Keaton, definitely, once I get moved in, let me know, because Dwarf Sedge sells a lot, and people seem to like it. Or start up an eBay, bro. Sell it on eBay. Because you could sell it on eBay for probably like $2.50 each, and you could just make it a minimum thing. You put, the way I would do it if I was you, I would take 5 plants, so if you were going to sell them for $2.50 individually, you'd sell them for $2 each, right? So a person buys 5 plants, that's $10, and they pay for shipping. So you make $10, you get rid of 5 plants, and there you go. That's how I would do it. Sell them in bulk. And then you can make another listing for, maybe 20 plants. Maybe somebody wants 20 plants, and instead of $2 each, you do $1.50 each. Or $1.75 each. I don't think you should ever measure a light by the Kelvin rating. The Kelvin rating doesn't really dictate the light radiation, but it's a good guideline for like somebody that knows nothing and it's like going into a hardware store trying to pick out a bulb. The higher the rating of the light, the better it's going to be. Typically. Could be different, but I mean that's just like basics to get somebody through, like without knowing what he is available and all that. Justin, do you dose potassium or just add from your nitrate and phosphate dosing? It's pretty much just from all the phosphate and nitrate dosing that I'm getting. Is there potassium in there? I don't know where the potassium's at. I have to figure that out. I think it's in the I want to say it's in the CSM Plus maybe. We got gender wars happening in the chats here, Caitlin and Jake. Caitlin says, I'm pretty sure women are better. You can't grow another human. Have you ever heard of any way to increase calcium in a tank without having to go on and buy a bunch of chemicals for it? Yeah, put in seashells or crushed coral. Yeah, Kelvin rating doesn't only measure color, but typically ones with a higher color, like if it's 75K, they're going to have a better wattage. So it's really watts and Kelvin is what I go off of if I was going to buy something like that. I'll try that and see if it works. Just seems like such a hassle. Selling plants is hard work, Keaton. It's not easy. Selling one particular plant, not that hard, but hey, if you make, 20, 30 bucks, better than zero. So, T-shells also raise pH. Yep. Alright, guys.
Can you change the garbage, please, when you're done?
Didn't I take it out?
Huh?
Didn't I take out the garbage?
Can you change the garbage bag? It's full.
This one?
No, the one in the basement.
I didn't take that out? I thought I took that one out. No, I know. I thought I took it out last night. I guess I forgot. Alright, so 2 more minutes, guys. I'm going to wrap this up. Because I'm going to fill up the 2 tanks because they're a little low. I'm going to do some trimming maintenance. We want 2-hour live streams back. I want 2-hour live streams back too, but it is 8:30. I have to fill up those tanks. I have to start packing stuff, and there's a lot going on right now, so I don't have time to do 2-hour live streams. Should have caught me last night at like 2 a.m. when I was doing a live stream for an hour or 45 minutes, whatever it was. Should follow me on Instagram, bro. You're welcome, Keaton. What is up, Arsenal King? If you guys want to watch the live stream back there, if you're just joining, it's on Facebook and YouTube. It'll be available there. You guys can check it out. And yeah. Start live streams earlier. Oh, kind of can't start it earlier because I got home like 5:36. And then we're needy, Justin. I'm sorry. Well, if you're needy and you want more H2O plants and more H2O Army stuff, join the Facebook group H2O Army on Facebook and become part of the group. And then we can talk and look at tanks and make fun of each other all we want there. What's the group? H2O Army, Facebook.com/H2O Army, Jake? Or is it H2O, Facebook.com/group/H2O Army? I forgot. There we go. It's www.facebook.com/groups/H2O Army. How would I ship the plants if I don't own a heat sealer? So the way you would do it then is take paper towels, soak the paper towels in water, or, well, wrap the plant first in paper towels, right? Then dunk them in the water so they're nice and wet. And then put those in, like, 3 Ziploc baggies. That's the way I would do it. The thing is with Ziploc baggies is they leak water unless they're, like... You gotta find the ones that say, like, watertight, which I don't think they actually make. But if they do, you want to find ones that say watertight. Because the Ziploc part, the actual Ziploc thing, leaks water, actually. Which is weird, so yeah, you'd want to triple back it. So yeah, Jake's linking all the group stuff for everybody. Like I said, join the H2O Army group on Facebook to join and chat with other members. But that's gonna do it for this live stream, guys. I want to appreciate all you guys for hanging out. Hopefully Sunday there will be another live stream. I don't know with packing and all that. We'll have to see what happens. Be sure to check out Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, all those things if you aren't. And I'll see you guys later. Can I use a straight iron to seal the Ziploc? No, don't use a straight iron to seal the Ziploc. There's different types of material, different types of plastic that actually melt together efficiently. I won't do that. Just use 3 bags. But alright, I'm later, guys. Keaton, if you need any more help, just message me.